Evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and Habibi. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My channel has been invaded by a strange man from Egypt. Please send help.
Yes. More coffee.
Guys, today when I was setting up the stream, I got home from work and I set up the stream and I accidentally, and I kid you not, I accidentally listed the stream because YouTube asks you, is it like education, science? It gives you categories. And I accidentally clicked on comedy and then I saved it and I was like, oh, now I'm going to go back and change it.
I promise you, we can make it comedy. Just talk about Allah, Muhammad, and Islam, the Quran. It will be comedy. Yeah.
So I left it because I thought, you know what, it is kind of comedy. So welcome, everyone. Hello. Good to see you all. Yes. So this is your favorite Egyptian and your favorite South African. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't say that I'm a murtad. Are you a murtad, Usama?
And I was never a Muslim. I was born Muslim, but I never became a Muslim a day in my life. And Muslims are waiting for me to revert to Islam. But if you as a Muslim, how can you revert to something? Hey, hello, Brother Lloyd. Greetings to you in the name of our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ. Good to be with you and all you wonderful audience. This is my greeting to start with. Now, what was your question again?
What was the question? I have many questions. Guys, just out of interest, I was contacted by a big channel. He's got 250,000 subs. He does music. It's a legit channel. He does production work in Germany, of all things, on TV shows and music. And they contacted me to do an interview, and they set up a little group chat, and they invited me in, and then they wanted me to go to a website to make an account. And I've seen this story before, and I started to get a little concerned. Just so, by the way, I have a lot of security. Okay, because one evening, for instance, my phone started beeping. In 3 hours, I had 30 notifications that someone was trying to hack my Microsoft and my Google accounts. So I routinely get these attempts. I don't know. I annoy people. There are times when I put out a video that really seems to upset somebody, and then I'll get spam. I'll get like 30 or 40 spam messages in a day because they signed me up for spam. So this happens. But this guy then said, no, just go to the site, just join the link, just sign, and then we'll chat there, and there'll be contracts for you to sign for the interview. And of course, I mean, come on, I worked as a systems administrator for a decade. And so you go to the site and you click on it, and of course my system goes wild because they want you to download a file, so my security software goes nuts. And obviously malware or spyware they want to install. And they want you to like run a command, which actually then runs a PowerShell script. So I told these guys, you want to tell me about this? And so anyway, so this guy, Vincent Lee, I must be him unless it's someone who hacked his account. Who knows? But he's got a big YouTube channel and does music. And I was like, why does a guy who does like hip hop and rapper interviews and music stuff, why does he want, So it looks like I've annoyed somebody, and also Grunt magazine. I must have upset somebody.
Was this a Muslim group or what? Or what?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, there was a French magazine and this German guy, and so somebody's not happy, and they try to infect my machine. So,
man, oh man, let me tell you, something happened with me just last week. We're having a conference coming up, or one of my speaking engagement. I don't call it conference. With another lady, she's going to talk about something about Israel, and I'm doing my presentation, Israel or Palestine, and then we have this Veterans War room in Minnesota, which only fit 200 people, so 200 seats. So we decided, to make it more right, people have to register to come to show up. Okay, you cannot just walk from the street, sit down, because maybe we don't have enough room for the 200 people to sit. So what are we gonna do? VFW. So anyway, so we decided to go ahead and make a registration, but then within hours, the 200 are gone. So people are try to register to get in, but they cannot get in because it's gone. Well, normally it would take a few days to fill in the 200 seat, not just within a few hours. So the gentleman who was setting the whole thing up online, he went to check these people out, see who are these people who registered to come to our meeting. Well, they are from Germany, they are from Saudi Arabia, they are from France, they are from, I mean, everywhere, but not Rochester, Minnesota. I can imagine. And then guess what? Each one of them registered 5 seats, 8 seats, 10 seats. Woo! And we found out the Muslims are trying to cancel the meeting simply by register the 200 seat, and obviously none of them are going to show up. So we're going to sit in the meeting with nobody to be there. We figure out their number, man. Muslims are very loving. They're very peaceful. They don't know deception. They don't do trickery. They're sweet, sweet people. So anyway, so we refund all these people back. We give them nothing because it's free anyway. So we said to them, sorry, you cannot be in our meeting. And now we did it in a different way. So we make sure only Americans or those who live in Rochester will come. We would love to have the Muslims.
Right.
We always look forward to see 10, 20, 30 Muslims, but not 200 who will not show up because they're from some other country around the world.
Yeah, no, another peaceful Muslim today drove his car into 10 people in France and set his car alight. It was filled with petrol cans and injured there's also a politician that was badly injured. So yeah, this is how it is. And of course, New York, rest in peace. Yeah, but look, this is going to, I don't think ultimately they win. I think ultimately what happens is this comes to a conflict. I think that's what wins. That's what happens.
Yeah, but my sorrow is this, Lloyd, is normally in the last 1464 years, 65 years, when Muslims set a foot somewhere, they never leave. They cannot take it back.
Yeah, but look at Spain. They got thrown out with force.
Yeah, after force of over 400 years, whatever the number of years was. But guess what? The Muslims are taking Spain back. They're working so hard to take it back.
Granted, but I think the thing is, people are starting to wake up. I mean, I don't think there's that much unawareness anymore. And in the US, they have, let's just say, the means to get rid of them. The Spanish were weak. They started with nothing in the north and they had to work their way south. They started off very small, very weak, separated, divided, and they managed to pull it together with peasants and stuff. And in America, I think it's a different story.
Yeah, but the problem is, if the American wake up, if the American do what's right, it's going to be a civil war. That's what Muslims want.
For sure.
They don't want to do jihad in the Middle East. They want to do jihad here in New York. They want to do jihad in Texas, in Minnesota, in Virginia, and
look, in this sense, I think I have faith in you know what? If you look at the Americans that I know and the people, the fighting spirit, you don't have to be the majority because, I mean, think of the saying, always outnumbered, never outgunned.
Yeah.
And I think this counts.
Well, let's move on. Let's move on, Brother Lloyd. I cannot wait to get to this very important chapter. It is a great evidence that Allah's word is the truth. The Quran is the perfect word of Allah, and it is the truth. So when we study this material we're about to study, you find that you can't help but accept Islam.
You know, you see a lot of Muslim comments now. I see it on social media. They're like, oh my God, look at the Islamophobia, look at the open Islamophobia, look at people. They are really concerned now. They're really concerned because people are turning against them. Sentiment is shifting and they are responding to it. And once that sentiment builds to a certain level. But okay, so guys, we will briefly talk about the story of when all people perished together. Then we'll go to Moses because we've covered all of these stories. And we've only got a little bit left.
I'm so proud of you. But that story, the story of when all people perish together, that's very important. The detail in that chapter is beyond your imagination. I mean, think about it. When all people perish together, like together. So go ahead.
Like Jonestown, like the Jonestown massacre, or like.
Listen, it was my birthday last week, and my special friend Christy Johnson gave me.
Happy birthday. I didn't know that. I didn't know it's your birthday.
No,
I'm going to send you one of these.
I'm not finished yet. Ooh, go.
Oh my golly.
Hey, Okay, listen. I'm not done yet. I'm not done. Ooh, look at this. And his own signature. Trump. No. I'm not done yet. You know what this is?
No idea. Bigger gold bar?
I flew to Texas and I hang this on my chain, my keychain. And they tried to take it away from me. I said, no, you can't, because that's Mr. Trump. And I promised them I will not use it on the airplane. Just kidding. I left it here on my desk because I found out if I try to take it, they will take it away from me. Anyway, so this was just my special gift from my very special producer and co-host, Christy Justin. It's Trump, man. Okay. I think the reason, by the way, the reason we lost New York and all these places, because they're so stupid. They are the what do you call the rhino, the Republican name only, and they don't want Trump to get involved in it. So Trump said, okay, have it your way. We're not going to promote it. We're not going to ask people to come and vote as a MAGA agenda. And guess what? We lost, because that is what the rhino wants. The rhino wants
to actually really simple. It's immigration fraud and illegal immigration working exactly as intended.
Sure. Let's move on, brother. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. So let's go to the story of when all people perished together. This is a really intense story, as you can see.
That's the whole bitch.
Yeah, I thought we just use this as a starter, like a warm-up.
Okay, so guys, all right. We'll get one more chapter coming up. Yes.
Are we ready to be amazed by the Quran?
I cannot wait. I can't wait.
Chapter 12, the story of when all people perished together. Ibn Kathir stated that this type of perishing, when an entire people died together collectively, took place before the descending of the Torah, the book of Moses. And then he proved his point with the following verse in Quran 28:43. And indeed, we gave Moses the book after we had destroyed the first generations, to become to the people a guidance and a mercy. Perhaps they may remember.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. Does anybody remember? I'm fresh out of memories here.
Ibn Kathir, brother, look, when you read the chapter, you need to take your time because it's very important. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so everyone with me, breathe in.
So far.
Woo. Sa. Excellent.
Good.
Ibn Kathir continued by stating that Ibn Jarir and other scholars said that Allah did not destroy a people with a torment from the heaven or earth until after he sent the Torah, except to the book of the people of the village whom Allah transformed into monkeys, and Allah knows best.
There's so much knowledge here, man. So much knowledge.
I don't know. So you may be surprised to learn that this chapter is only 2 paragraphs long. Are you saying your description is longer than the actual chapter? Also, what is the message of this chapter? The answer is that there is no message, but we can learn something.
You talk like Islamophobe, man. This is a chapter in the great scholar Ibn Kathir's writing in his book, The Beginning and the End. البداية والنهاية للعلامة الكبير ابن كثير. أنت ما بتفهم شيء? You don't understand.
Please make it stop.
Okay.
We can learn something of the level of ignorance of the Muslim scholars. I believe that Ibn Kathir had never studied the Torah, for if he had read the Torah carefully, he would have learned that the Torah contains all the information, beginning with the creation through the exodus of the children of Israel from Egypt and their entry into the promised land. Another important fact is that there were only 2 times, according to the Bible, when all people perished together. The first was in Noah's day. People perished by flood. The second time was in Lot's day, in Genesis 19. As for the statement that Allah tormented the people of the village by causing them to be monkeys, this was just an invention of Muhammad's imagination as fabricated in the Quran. Well, yeah, guys, this, praise be to Allah. This is the word of Allah.
Is anybody now? I need to ask all your wonderful audience. Anyone is so excited about the beauty and the detail of the information about when all the people perish together. Anybody is ready to see the Shahada, we
I
can
think
all
Glory to
together
God has
now.
found that very powerful, and I think she's considering joining her local mosque. Like
No, but first we have to see the Shahada together, man. Together, collectively.
collectively, you know what I
Together.
mean? We all have to like agree that this was an amazing story.
Well, it's a chapter in Ibn Kathir's book. I did not write. I
I
did
mean,
not write it for him.
Glory to God is secretly sending me messages, and she's saying, Lloyd, the story was so short. I realized if this is the Quran, then the services are going to be really short, and these long church services kill me, you know? So I can be in and out in 5 minutes
Okay,
flat. The guy's just gonna,
go back to the verse. Go back to the verse. I'm gonna prove to you wrong. Go up, please.
he
One
almost
page.
cried. See, almost cried.
I know. Almost cried. Me too. Go up, man. Go up.
Up.
Now read the verse. Concentrate. See, you read the verse too fast that you missed it. Go up to the verse. Keep going. A little bit more higher. A little bit more higher. A little bit more. And stop. 28:43. What did Allah say? And indeed. Do you know the scholars disagree about what Allah meant and indeed? For according to the great scholar, are you listening to me? You just
I'm
mocking
trying
me.
not to. I'm actually, it's like, you know, for my own mental
You
health,
know,
I'm trying to avoid.
sometimes you go to a simple sentence in the Quran, and when you read the scholar's interpretation to that simple sentence, by the time you go to the first two words of the sentence, you forgot what was the verse is all about. Like wailun, woe. وَيْلٌ الَّذِينَ يَكْتُبُونَ الْكِتَابِ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ. Woe to those who write the book by their hand. Quran chapter 5, verse 13. Do you know that I read almost 4 pages by the scholars of Islam to the interpretation for the word woe? And I discovered amazingly, Brother Lloyd, that woe is a huge mountain in hell. But I also discovered that woe is a huge valley in hell. As a matter of fact, it will take a person 40 years to get to the bottom of that valley if he dropped in that valley in the bottom of it. I discovered that woe is the bus. You know, the when you have a cut in your hand and disinfection and white stuff come out of your hand, you know what I'm talking about? It's called bus. Yeah,
Pus.
bus.
Pus. It's not Pepsi, it's Pepsi.
Listen. We don't have P in Arabic. We only have B. Bus, okay? The bus, not the bus you take to the school. The bus come out of your hand like you drink Pepsi and eat popcorn.
Hand bus. Yep, okay.
Bus.
Let's do that one.
It is actually a valley down in hell where the infidels eat from it or drink from it, whatever.
Oh, enough. Oh, God, now I can't sleep for a
I'm
week.
just trying to explain to you the interpretation of the word whoa. So when you read, and indeed, you just read it, and it's like you don't care about what it means.
So this is like what you, so you serve that with the camel urine.
Exactly. Allah Almighty gave, Moses the book. Did Allah give Moses a book or did he give him a scroll? Was it a book? When Moses got
but I thought he gave him tablets with the 10 Commandments because Moses only got the 10 Commandments. He got no book, and then he got the 632 mitzvot or something, which is from the oral law.
I mean, excuse me. If that verse is true, Brother Lloyd, if that verse is true, and we're talking about obviously some people who died together. Who do you think died together before Noah? Except the flood, except Noah's people, the whole earth, except 8 souls. Noah, his wife, Ham, Shem, Japheth, and the 3 daughters-in-law. Why can't Ibn Kathir can figure this out? Why he does not know what he's talking about? I mean, he's a scholar, and he does not know what the verse talking about, and he did not give a straight answer. Is this a hard question for a scholar like Ibn Kathir to tell me what Allah is talking about when he said, we had destroyed the first generations?
That's because you missed the first verse that actually comes before this. It says, names have been changed to protect the guilty. You see?
Ooh.
So basically,
I missed that one. I missed it myself.
Allegedly, you see, it's actually they took out allegedly because if they had to say it, then Allah might get sued or something. So
It's like in England now. In England, when a Muslim, most European country, when a Muslim commit a crime, they put the initial for his name. They will never put his name because they're afraid that the rest of the Muslim will be upset. Those who have not yet raped their daughters. You see what I'm saying? This is the guy, bad guy, raped a young lady, so they will not put his name. So they say ML. Well, let me tell you, M
come
start
on,
from
you know
Muhammad.
that all of the crime in England is committed by Welsh choir boys. Let's just be honest now.
Man,
Only Welsh choir boys commit crimes in England. Right. Okay, so guys, I hope that was a deep, abiding lesson that can stay with you, that can leave you with thoughts that you can think about and learn from for the rest. I've already forgot. Right, let's. What were we talking about? Usama couldn't have been important.
not important. Let's move to the next chapter. We're done. All
I'm,
the people perish together. It's a very important chapter, and we covered it very well.
if Allah was merciful, I would have perished with them and I wouldn't have to read this nonsense. So therefore, I know Allah is not merciful.
Allah is not merciful to you, man. I'm sorry. You know what? We would talk. I don't want to talk about Al Khadr because that have tie with Moses. So let's really go ahead and start on Moses. And I'm praying that the Lord give you patience because it's a long chapter, and it will take more than a few weeks. And if it happened that something bad happened, we could not finish it, would encourage people to go to my website and order the book and read it for themselves. I mean, we're doing everything we can to help the people around the world, but otherwise, I'm sorry,
You
I
know,
can't
Heinz
help.
said he just spat out his beer laughing so hard.
Yeah,
You see, even he's got to drown the pain with anesthetic.
really.
Yeah, I wish
Now,
I had some beer. The best I can do here is water. Maybe I can add some of my
camel
exploding
urine,
water effervescent tablets.
hardcore the bells of camel urine or something like that, and make it yellow. The right color, man.
All right, so guys, we're going to talk about Moses now. This is Moses as you've never heard the story before. This is
Yeah.
not your grandmother's Moses or your grandfather's Moses. In fact, this is not Moses that makes any sense. This is the Quranic Moses. Prepare to be
And before,
amazed. One,
and
all. And now let the curtain rise on the most amazing story of Moses ever in the history of. Does that sound good, Usama? Am I onto something?
yeah, you're putting enough drama in it and makes me excited about even come back to the next show. But here's the truth.
Problem is that the
Before we
audience
get
is
to
in for a letdown, so maybe I'll just let's just dive in. Muslims all over the world claim. Now, I'm just reading the words from this guy down here. You see the guy down there? I'm just reading his words. Don't shoot the messenger.
God help me. Yeah.
Muslims all over the world.
And wait a minute. And the guy here was only translating from Arabic to English another guy by the name, the great scholar Ibn Kathir. Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya, the beginning there. That's his book. So you want to shoot Ibn Kathir. Go ahead.
Please shoot me first. Please, please.
Yeah, well, if you want to get me out of this misery, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. But otherwise, I can't.
Well, they had to fill the pages. Ah, great. Okay, so yeah, Muslims all over the world claim that they believe in the prophet Moses and in the book of Moses, the Torah. Therefore, they believe in Judaism, the religion of prophet Moses. But is that true? How can Muslims claim to believe in Judaism, the religion of Moses, if their religion, Islam, commands them not only to hate the Jews, but to kill the lost Jew, as Allah declared in Quran 1:5-6? Because Allah is angry with the Jews because they are Jews and not Muslims. Do Muslims really believe in Moses? How can they reconcile the doctrine of their cult, Islam, with the teaching of the Jewish faith, when they compare the teaching of the Quran with the teachings of Judaism? So, if the Muslims knew the Jewish faith, not only would they leave the cult of Islam, but they would believe in the Christian faith. I believe Muslims do not know the Moses of the Torah, but simply the false Muslim Moses of the Quran. To prove my point, let us begin our study of Moses' life in the Quran by asking, who was Moses?
And the answer from the word of Allah is good luck. You could, I mean, imagine with me, Moses mentioned the Quran 130 sometimes. I mean, this is the biggest name repeated over and over and over again throughout the Quran. And he cannot get an answer for a simple question. Who is this guy? Who is Moses?
It's like, who's the Messiah? It's like that wasn't answered satisfactorily at all.
Nope. Nope.
So, according to Ibn Kathir, Moses
No. Before you even get there, according to Ibn Kathir, not according to Allah, not according to Muhammad, because Allah and Muhammad did not answer that question, but Ibn Kathir answered. You know how? He went back to this book, the Bible. And he didn't even read the Bible right. I don't know. Well, you tell me. Go ahead, read, bro. Read.
Which Bible did he have? I gotta wonder which translation was it.
Yeah.
So according to little Ibn Kathir, Moses is Ibn Amran, Ibn Kahes, Ibn Azar, Ibn Levi, Ibn Jacob, Ibn Isaac, Ibn Ibrahim. So Moshesh is Ibn Amran. Okay, let's have a look at this. There's a little one over here. I'll click on that. Ibn Kathir, Stories of the Prophet. Okay. Once again, where did Ibn come up with these names and this genealogy? Not a single verse in the Quran or the Hadith gives us the lineage. According to the Bible, the name of Moses' father was not Amran, it was Amram, as written in Exodus 6:20. Amram took for himself Jochebed, his father's sister, as wife. And she bore him Aaron and Moses, and the years of the life of Amram were 137. This name is also mentioned in Quran 3:33 and 66:12. Muslim scholars disagree on the identity of Amran, mentioned in Quran 3:33. Surely Allah chose Adam and Noah and the family of Abraham and the family of Imran above the worlds, in which some say that he was the father of Moses. However, others say he was the father of Mary, the mother of Jesus, as stated by Al-Qurtubi. Great EO.
That mean literally Moses was Jesus' uncle. Just you think of that for a minute. When Jesus grew up, where are you going? I'm going to see Uncle Moses. Why? We're going to go fish.
So I'm going to visit Uncle Moshesh.
Yeah.
So Jesus was like, yeah, don't worry, Mom. That I'm going to go see Uncle Moshesh. He's got these big stone tablets with some writing on them, and he's showing me how to read them.
And then we're going to go fishing in the afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to get, there's a guy that's stuck in a whale that we're trying to get out.
Oh my world.
Because he's the brother of Uncle Moshesh.
Wait until you read the green prophet. It will make Moses look real sharp. Anyway, God help us. MoveOn.org.
So Quran 66:12, and Mary, the daughter of Amran, who guarded her sexual parts. So we breathed into it from our spirit, and she believed in the words of her Lord and his books, and she was among the obedient.
Do you really believe Mary, daughter of Amran, have access to the books of her Lord? I mean, was she able to read and write and accept all these books?
She was a member of the Bethlehem Library.
Listen, Lloyd, every time you look in the Quran for the word book, you cannot help but to laugh. You know why? Because there was no book in Moses' days. There was no books in Jesus' days. I mean, you know what is a book? Here's a book. Okay? Let me show another book. Here's another book. Okay? Did the Jewish people ever use books? What is a book?
So this guy's actually, hold on. This TED Talk, TED has become woke. TED is pushing pedophilia quite literally as something that we should socially embrace. Also, companies look, and we're still using human urine in medicine. You mean like just literal urine just like that? Do you want to be more specific? Tell us the application. Tell us if they're using a compound from it, dried, exactly how. Are you saying people are just being fed it and they're just drinking it? because be specific. Let's not be vague here.
All right. Forget
Oh
about
my
him.
God, this guy actually says drinking your own urine does have medicinal properties. This proves there's something with human urine in many ways, even in survival. I think we're 2 steps away from eating our own poop at this point. I'm sorry, but
Forget about this guy. Let's move on. Let's move on.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. I'm sure Jesus spoke to him or something and said, yeah, yeah, yeah.
The second verse.
Okay, so I believe that Muhammad was clearly in error in all his writings, because Muslim scholars agree that Amran was the father of Mary, the mother of Jesus. Moses' father, what? Oh my God, this is so they thought that she was the sister of Moses and Aaron, as proved by his reference to Mary, Jesus' mother in the Quran. O sister of Aaron, your father was not an evil man, and your mother was not unchaste. The Quran mentions Moses.
Here's a problem, Lloyd. I don't think scholars of Islam do know anything about the timeline of people and names. That thing does not exist. So if you ask a Muslim scholar when this person exists or came to be in this earth, they have no answer. They literally do not know. Was Moses after Noah, Noah after Moses, Moses? I mean, look at the list of the names, how Muhammad puts these names in the Quran. He always put them in different order. And you could figure out, was Zechariah in the days of Solomon or Jesus in the days of Moses? I mean, literally, it's confusion. It's confusion. So, what do you expect? Maryam, it's the same lady, and Aaron and Moses, her brothers. So Jesus is their nephews. End of story. Easy, easy. You can figure it out
Yeah,
without any sweat.
yeah. So I'm sorry, just on this point, I put this person in permanent timeout. I really, I just don't have time for that kind of
I'm thankful
retardation.
that you did that. Thank you so much for doing that. You make my day, man.
So yeah, right. The Quran mentions Moses in 131 verses in 47 locations. Sometimes only the name is mentioned in the Quran, like, or do you wish to ask your messenger as Moses was asked before? Quran 2, 136 says, we believed in Allah and what has been sent down to us, and what has been sent down to Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac and Jacob and the Asbat. So let's find out about that.
The
Asbat,
tribes.
the tribes, non-Arabic word of Hebrew, Syriac origin. Okay.
Which, by the way, that's why Muslim scholars believe that all the tribes, the 12 sons of Jacob, all of them were prophets. Because if they receive a messenger from Allah, was we sent down to them, that makes them automatically a prophet or a messenger too. Yeah.
Yeah. And what has been given to Moses and Isa, and what has been given to the prophets from their Lord. We do not differentiate between any of them.
No, Brother Lloyd. And what has been given to the prophets? What prophets they're talking about? It is an open-ending sentence. Why? Because if Muhammad forgot some other names of some other prophet because he never heard of or he does not know, it's hey, here it is. It's in the verse. The other prophets, Allah does not want to mention by names. Therefore, we just make a genuine sentence. So prophets, like when all the people perished together. You see, the people. What story? What is the people?
The prophets.
The one I did not talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Allah will give you all the things. All the things. Yeah, no, that's very specific. And just notice though, guys, when I asked him to be specific, to say, well, it is used in the following way, scientifically or medicinally. One, a compound is extracted from it to do the following, and then he's none of that. It's just assertions. It's just the voices in my head said, this is how things are. And I think you need to have details. If you're going to make assertions over and over, then it's the voices in your head talking to you. It is not fact. It is not evidence. So the prophets to what has been given. So what has been given? What was given to them? Like
the books.
Where are
We're
those
talking
books?
about the belief in the books.
come on, there's like 50 books given to Abraham. There's like
Oh,
30 books given to Enoch. There's like 20
Idris,
books given to.
Idris have the majority of the books, and they were printing then in his days. There was a big print shop, and they were printing lots of books. But then the print shop catch on fire and burned down. That's why the books did not continue until today. I remember because it happened in the afternoon. After it was very drought. It was very drought when it happened. It was very dry. The books were burned. Yep. Mm-hmm. You got the point? You didn't get the point.
No, I'm look, that's the only explanation that can be, you know. So where are these books? We don't know. Muhammad didn't think to preserve any of it. It's just sad. So we do not differentiate between any of them. And to him, we are Muslims. There's no difference between any other prophets. Okay. Moses is in the following verses of the Quran. A long list follows. And these verses add nothing to the information given for the story of Moses. They simply take up space. Sometimes the name is inserted into a listing of names with no purpose. For example, Quran 6:84. And we granted to him Isaac and Jacob. Both we guided, and Noah we guided before among his descendants.
Brother Lloyd, I hate to interrupt you. When you say him here, that's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What do you forget about what the Bible said? I want you to be a good Muslim. You don't believe in the Bible because it's a corrupt book, okay? When you say we granted to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, what is the relationship between Isaac and Jacob?
Isaac and Jacob, oh God, my memory is going to fail me here.
No, I'm talking about
in this case, they're supposed to be sons of Abraham.
Exactly, two brothers. When in reality in the Bible, Isaac is the father, Jacob is the grandson. So Isaac is the son of Abraham, and then Jacob. And by the way, Jacob have a brother. They were twins, which is Esau. Muhammad never mentioned anything about him in the Quran, nor in the Hadith. Scholars of Islam do not know jack about Esau, a father of great nations. I mean, literally, that's how God fulfilled his promise to Abraham from the river of Euphrates to the river of Egypt. All this land is given to the children of Abraham. But how can you figure this out if you don't know Esau? You see? So, but when Muslims read, I don't want to read the Quran like Muslim reads the Quran like reading a newspaper. When you talk about we gave him and we granted him who? Isaac and Jacob. Muslims need to stop for a second. That is wrong. Jacob is not the brother of Isaac. Jacob is the son of Isaac. And by the way, Jacob have a brother by the name Esau. Never mentioned in the Quran. So keep on. Both we guided. How did Allah guide them?
It's a brother from another mother, okay? So you
I understand that. That's a fact. That's a fact. Both we guided. And Noah, listen. Where is Noah comparing to Abraham? Noah came hundreds of years before Abraham. Why did not Allah say?
You know the story, where's Wally? You know, where's Wally? Islam actually inspired and invented that whole idea of where's Wally by having people ask, where's Noah? Where's Jesus? Where's any other prophets for that matter? See, so they kind of so they inspired you to look deeper and to find what is between the lines.
I believe, look, I believe the real reason why Muhammad never put the names in the right order because he does not know. You go to other passages, you're going to see it like, so what he does, he's confused you. And before that, and in the middle, and after that, and even before that. And when you read the verses, you get lost. You didn't even know. Did he miss any verses? Did he miss any important names?
This is storytelling inspired by Allah. And Allah is a green plant that grew in Muhammad's backyard that he would dry. And then they would burn it on the fire, and everyone would sit around and sing Kumbaya.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. That's good. That's good. Okay.
Hash Allah, exactly. Hash Allah. That was it.
Hash Allah. Yes, indeed. Yeah. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. HashAllah.com. All right. Keep going.
Joel's like, where's Wally? Oh my god, I'm gonna get dizzy. Oh my gosh. This is so funny. I mean, this is just, it's retarded.
Before, okay, so Noah was before, and among his descendants, look at that. David, okay, the father of Solomon, makes sense. And Job, you put Job as a descendant of David? For heaven's sake. Job was way before any of this name. And Joseph, well, I saw Joseph was a way before David and Solomon. That's among his descendants. Who's his descendants? Noah's descendants? Wait a minute. First of all the people of the earth will come from Noah. I promise you. But what order did Muhammad put in that verse? Does Muhammad have a clue about what he's talking about? This is Allah here. Momo, what? I cannot read that. Have to move.
It says Job and Joseph, and Moses and Aaron, and likewise we reward the doers of good.
MashaAllah. Okay. Anyway, but the most important thing, Moses was mentioned in that verse. Okay, that's how Muslims believe in Moses.
You know, hold on. I need to just do this quickly. Hang on.
Sure.
Because this is, someone just mentioned, you know, that even Steven Seagal would be proud of all the bullshito. You know what? There's a guy called Space Ice. He makes fantastically funny movies. He features Steven Seagal. This guy's reviews of Seagal's movies are hysterical. Okay, I've been laughing at this guy for like a couple of years now so he just makes the funniest, Space Ice makes the funniest reviews. Mostly. Okay. And if he would write a review of the Quran, this would be the funniest review ever. If this guy would make a review video of what we're doing here. So for anyone who hasn't, go check this guy out, Space Ice. Yeah, it is.
He looked like another movie actor. I can't remember what's his name.
Don't you remember that was Steven Seagal there, but Ignacio de Torres, welcome, just subscribed. So this pattern of inserting names is repeated in 2, 136, 384, 29, 39, 33, 7, 42, 13, and so on and so on and so on. The names given along with Moses are in no particular order. The names given along with, causing us to wonder if Mo really knew who came first. These names are not in correct historical order and often unrelated to each other. Why am I not surprised? The story of Moses in the Quran is in 2 different styles, which we will call short and the long version. The short version ranges from 1 verse, like Quran 61:5. And when Moses said to his people, "O my people, why do you harm me? And indeed, you know that I am a messenger of Allah to you." So when they deviate, Allah deviates their hearts, and Allah will not guide the transgressing people.
That's the one type of stories of Moses. 1 verse, have a little bit of information, and you read it and you scratch your head. You don't know what in the world. Are we missing the previous few verses and the following few verses? Did somebody miss a couple verses from the book of Quran?
Wow, there's a lot of Moses stuff I'm just looking at here. This doesn't end.
I told you it's a big chapter. Come on, man, breathe air when you read
my life. And when Moses, and then he goes on to say, like these verses, have the sayings of Moses come to you when his Lord called him in the holy valley of Tuwa, go to Pharaoh, surely he has rebelled. So to say, would you become purified? So say, would you become purified, and I guide you to your Lord so that you may fear? Okay, so he showed him the big sign. Guys, just hide your eyes. I'm going to show you the big sign that Moses had to show.
Don't you dare. I know where you're going.
The big sign. He had to show the big sign.
Yeah.
And so he gave Pharaoh the big sign, and Pharaoh then chased him with chariots and died in the water. So he showed him the big sign, gave him the big stick. I don't know. So he denied and he disobeyed. Then he turned back striving. So he gathered, so he called, so he said. I like that. He turned back striving, so he gathered, so he called, so he said. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Oh my, what a wonderful day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the correct sequence?
Please don't quit your daily job, man. Don't quit your daily job. You have a family to take care of. Okay, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I will Lord the highest. So Allah seized him with punishment of the hereafter and of the first. Surely this is a lesson to him who fears.
Man, I know you struggle with passages like that, but you see, it is the truth. It is the truth. I, as a Christian or any Jewish man who knows the truth about Moses, can understand these verses much better than any scholars of Islam or any Muslim today. We know what Muhammad is hinting to. Why? Because we know the real story, the original story. So if you go back to these verses and read them one sentence at a time, or one segment of every verse at a time, I can give you background history from the Bible. But the problem is Muhammad got the whole story wrong. There was no signs shown to Moses, from Moses to Pharaoh, not one. Everything was happening between Moses and Pharaoh. It was Aaron. Aaron was there. And these were not signs by the meaning. Signs is actually plagues. Plagues is not a miracle. The word sign is ayah in the Arabic language, could mean a verse in the Quran is ayah, a verse in the Bible is ayah, or a miracle, like something wow, something miraculous. No, we're talking about punishments, plagues, not sign, not miracles. So Muhammad did not know. Now, as we're going to go through the story of Moses, we will discover that he actually said there were 9. Amazingly, he only mentioned 5. And one of them was wrong, which is the flood. So 4 out of 10 plagues, he made them signs. And then the rest of the story of Moses, which is written in the Bible, Muhammad forgot to mention in the Quran. And the whole thing about Moses is backwards, is wrong. Everything about Moses is backwards and wrong. And that is how much Muslims know about Moses. God help us.
Holy moly. So yes, okay, let's have a look at this. Why would these 20 short stories of Moses be repeated throughout the Quran in the midst of short stories of other prophets? It seems to be simply to make the Quran a bigger book.
Sure.
If the story of each prophet in the Quran is mentioned one time and one time only in its longer version, meaning the removal of all of the repetitious short stories, the Quran would be reduced to a much smaller size than we have today.
You can read the entire Quran in less than 2 hours.
Right. No way.
I'm telling you. It's going to be a small booklet of, I don't know, 55, 60 pages. I'm just guessing a number.
We should do the Usama Dakdok and Lloyd de Jong audio Quran.
Hey, it's very simple. You and I can spend a few hours together, and we go through this book on an e-material, and every time Moses' story is mentioned, copy it, delete. We can. I actually thought about it some time ago. Short version to the Quran. A short version of the Quran. Just get to the point. Mention Adam once, mention Noah once, mention Abraham once, mention that once, and it's going to be a lot smaller book than you can imagine.
So, as the author of this book, I don't know who he is, but some guy who wrote this book says,
Whatever.
The stories are in no logical or consistent order, and Moses' story is always followed or preceded by the story of another prophet. For example, Muhammad mentioned the story of such Muslim prophets as Noah, Abraham, David, Elijah, Ad, Temud, and Alexander the Great. I'm surprised he didn't put Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck in here.
Well, they were not then. Disney was not. Disney started only a few years ago. That was after Muhammad.
Why didn't he put in, like, I don't know, like Zeus and Hercules then?
Because he did not read books out of the range of his traveling with the Jews and the Christian in the Saudi Arabia Peninsula.
Catherine says that's a genius idea. We should do complete with dramatic rereading. You know, do the Lloyd de Jong and Usama Dakdok dramatically read Quran.
MashaAllah, we can put some background music. You
know, we should get that guy who does those movie trailer voices. You know, there's only one man who can do this. One man who can save the world. One man who has a big enough gun. You know, get that movie voice guy. We get him to do it. Just as the trailer for it.
But depend how much it's going to cost us. If it's expensive.
You know, we can just but just we'll just read it, and then we'll I don't know. You know, people will pay us just not to release it. You know, people please don't
we get rich by not releasing the book. Man, that's awesome.
Please keep it away.
Please, please, shorter. Don't
Okay,
start.
so let's have a look at this. Okay, so Ad, Tamud. You guys, of course, know about the story of Ad and Tamud, those
Covered
great
already, yeah.
characters from Ad and Tamud from Ad and Tamud, right? You guys, yeah, okay, those
And
guys.
Prophet
Yeah,
Saleh and
those.
Prophet Saleh and Prophet Shaib. MashaAllah. Shaib to Medine. Saleh, yeah.
So let's go look at Moses' life as in Quran 28, but also other versions in Quran 7, 20, and 26, and other scattered references. So let's have a look at Moses and we'll compare with the biblical account. Let's look at the birth of Moses and the killing of the sons of the Israelites. Quran 28. It was a dark and stormy night. The
No,
thunder
that's not.
was thundering,
Yeah. Thunder,
you know,
man.
and
No thunder. Thunder.
the prophet was wailing. Frogs were falling. The earth cracked open and people fell in. There was molten lava gushing out. Lightning was tearing the sky. Birds were falling down in
Man,
droves.
you make the Quran more excited than what it is. Why are you promoting Islam, man, with your propaganda? يا
And
ورد
over
ابن
the rest
كثير.
of New York, it will be fine to mild with
Yeah.
scattered showers. Oh, that was the news report for New York. That's like how the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
According
so
to Tutu.
okay. So according to verse 2, those are the verses of the clear book. This is not just a simple story, but part of Muhammad's support for the truth of his revelation. The statement is found throughout the Quran as Muhammad's repeatedly maintained that the words of the Quran are clear. Was he trying to deceive us because he was aware of how unclear the words were?
Well,
Quran
let me ask you
28.
a question. Wait a minute, let me ask you a question. Have you ever read a book? I mean, I know you read lots of books. You're a smart man. You're not like most Democrats who do not know the right hand from the left hand. But have you ever read a book? Start by saying, these are the clear words, the clear book, the clear whatever. And have you ever read a book in French? It's written in French. Or a book written in Spanish, and it says, this is the clear word of the Spanish language. Whatever. Why Allah put these ridiculous statement in his book about the Quran is clear and the Quran is easy to understand and the Quran is written in Arabic? Why?
Because anytime you write a children's book, it's really simple. Let's tell you a story about Abraham. Abraham was a man and he got on a big boat and then there was a flood. And Abraham, no one on the boat could play cards because Abraham stood on the deck.
I thought it was Noah who's taking. You're killing me. Of course,
It's
he cannot
like,
play.
it's
Was
clear. It's not complicated. It's all maths.
did you really mention that this program today is going to be a comedy program? Is that what
You
you?
didn't actually accidentally make it comedy. I was typing the wrong thing and then I saved it as a
Leave it,
comedy.
leave it comedy. I think you make me laugh today more than ever. I never laughed like that before. I mean, I have a rough day, as you know, and with all the
I
stuff I'm
mean,
going through with my truck.
Usama,
But now you make me. I'm glad we did the show, man.
I am trying to take this stuff seriously, honestly, but you read it and you're like, what retard wrote this? I
Allah.
mean,
It is Allah and Muhammad. Mo and Allah together.
God,
Go ahead.
let's continue. Quran 28, 2-6 has a description of the status of the land of Egypt under the leadership of Pharaoh as he subdued the Jews who lived in the land by beheading their male children. These are the verses of the clear book. Actually, you know what? I know where he got it. These are the story of the Starship Enterprise. Very similar stuff. These are the stories of the Starship Enterprise. You know, you come on, the original Star Trek series, they start off like that with these are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise as we explore bold new or something. You know what I'm saying? So basically it's these are the verses of the clear. The Star Trek guys stole that line from the Quran and just changed it.
Yep. Maybe
You
you're
know,
right. Anyway,
we will recite to you some of the news of Moses and Pharaoh with the truth to the believing.
you notice what he said here? Some of. You know why he put some of there?
Some of the news.
Yeah.
Because
Why?
the
Why
rest
Allah
is
Quran use the word some
on
of?
paid for cable. There's only so much free news, and you got to pay for the rest. Subscription.
No, it's because Muhammad did not know how much was there. So to cover your bases, you see, this is some of. I did not tell you I'm going to tell you the entire story of Moses, but some of it. When in reality, when you read all that sum of which read about Moses, it is A, wrong, B, missing information, C, nothing to do with the true story of Moses. I mean, it's just a joke. Some of. Okay, tell me about that sum.
So surely Pharaoh exalted himself in the land and made its people into sects. You know, I think Allah is bothering me in the form of a fly. If you guys could pray for my salvation from this Allah fly, that'll be great. It could be a demon in the form of a fly that is trying to interrupt my appreciation of the
eyes. Yep. I see it from here.
Maybe I should catch it and dip it in my water.
Make sure both wings under the water, otherwise he may get sick.
Yeah, but then it just neutralizes the point. You see, the good wing and the bad wing just neutralize each other. There's no benefit. So in other words, I may as well just have it without the fly then.
If you eat the whole thing, you'll be fine.
I don't need protein that much, but thanks.
Okay. All right. Hey, I tried to give you advice, man. You don't want to listen. I don't care. I'm trying to help you.
So surely Pharaoh exalted himself in the land and made its people into sects, weakening a group of them, slaughtering their sons and sparing their women. Surely he was of the Vandals.
Let's stop for a second.
Wow.
Slaughtering their sons. Did Pharaoh ever slaughter one son? When you open the Bible, he gives the son, he cuts the head off with a knife, like Muhammad used a sword. Is this true? I know. If you slaughter the son, sparing the women or sparing the girls? I mean, did women in Moses' days birth sons and women, or boys and girls? I mean, why did not say and sparing their girls? Why use women?
Look, when Allah said it was a clear book, what he meant was it's a book made of glass, and it's written in beautiful crystal glass, and you can see right through it. Definitely see right through it.
I always say clear like mud. Yeah.
And we desired to show favor to those who were weakened on the earth, and to make them
tell me who are the weakened and who are the ones not weakened. I mean, is it so hard for Allah to tell me the Jews, the Hebrews, Moses' people? Why Allah speaking in a weird way of what kind of style of writing is that?
I don't know.
Listen. If it is clear and easy to understand, why Allah speaking in mysteries?
Look, you know what? Think of this guy earlier who came on, who was making all these strange comments about urine. When I asked him for specifics, for details, right, he was very unspecific. Now, if you're trying to hide something, or you are trying to sell someone a story that you can't justify, then you are going to be very unspecific. And I think the Quran is doing the same. It's trying to sell you something that it can't justify. So it lacks detail. It doesn't want to be specific. It doesn't want you to examine those specifics. It just wants you to take it as done. That's it.
Yeah. Keep going.
Just so you guys know, Pharaoh was the name of the guy that was in charge. Okay. It was Pharaoh Brown or Pharaoh Smith, one of the, probably Pharaoh Brown. He was supervisor, Pharaoh Brown. It's a long story. I'll explain that later. And we desired to show favor to those who are weakened on earth, and to make them leaders, and to make them the heirs, and to establish them in the land.
When he says the heirs, you know what Allah is talking about? He will make them the leaders in Egypt. He will make them the inheritors of the land of Egypt. Muhammad screws the whole story of Moses so badly that I don't know. Are we talking about the same Moses?
I don't know who we're talking about. It's like some random dude who's going to weaken people and he's going to make people leaders and they will be established in the land. And you're like, huh? Who?
It's bad. It's very bad. It's really, really bad.
And Pharaoh exalted himself in the land and he made its people into sects. Like, which Pharaoh? Like, Pharaoh
It's people.
Brown?
No, no, no. Listen, notice he made its people. Were the Hebrews in Egypt the people of Egypt? Do they have anything to do with Egypt?
Um, they were like the
Biblically,
migrant. They were like the illegal boat migrants of the day, I believe.
yeah. But it's just Muhammad does not know what he's talking about. He could not tell me the Hebrews. He could not tell me the Jews. He could not tell me Moses' family, Moses' ancestors. I mean, what's so hard to put a sentence in the Quran make sense?
Yeah, so I mean, why didn't Pharaoh say, "Hey, everyone, diversity is our strength"?
Yeah.
And then he wanted to establish him in the land, and we showed Pharaoh and Haman and their troops.
Whoa, stop it for a second. Pharaoh and Haman? Pharaoh and Haman? Babel and Egypt?
That was the name of a rock band that was very popular back then. Pharaoh and
Yeah.
Haman.
Yeah. I think
Pharaoh
you're
was
doing
his
a good
name.
job.
He was like the lead singer, and then you had Haman.
Brother.
Who was the
We
drummer.
know about Haman in the book of Esther and her uncle Mordechai, and that was in Iraq, okay? And we know Pharaoh is the Egyptian, my ancestors, okay? I know my pharaohs. I know for sure we do not have any Haman in the history of Egypt. Haman as a name in Egypt is like, say, Muhammad Ali Mustafa in the history of America. The ancestors of the American people who came from, say, England or came from France. One by the name Hussein Ali, and the other one is named Muhammad Absattar. Okay, when you put Muhammad coming from England to start the life in America, the historian laugh at you.
I just figured it out. You see, because you said these American people had aunt sisters. You see, and I know they did not have aunt sisters. They didn't even have aunt brothers or aunt aunts for that matter. So that is where the confusion came in.
Yep, must be ancestors, not aunt sisters.
What aunt sisters? So you see, this is how Muhammad got confused because he wasn't sure.
Are you following me? We're in verse 6 of that chapter, which is the verse number 5, because we start from number 2. These are the verses of the clear book. What is clear about Pharaoh have to do with Haman?
No, so yeah, Pharaoh revealed the song "Walk Like an Egyptian." So there you go. The Bangles. He was a fan of the Bangles, and I told you he was part of a band, part of a rock band called Pharaoh and Haman. And Haman was the drummer.
Lloyd, can you do me a favor? Sometime between here and next week, get me some Muslim scholar to help us to understand these verses.
Man, I will do my best. So he showed Pharaoh and Haman and their troops among them what they were fearing. This is in direct conflict with Moses' own account in Exodus 1, verse 22. This records that the male children were not slaughtered, as Muhammad said in the Quran, but were drowned. So Pharaoh commanded all these people, saying, "Every son who is born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive."
Notice here, sons, daughter, not sons, women. And there's no sword, there's no knife. They didn't cut heads off. They simply drops them in the water. And they didn't do it. The funny thing is, he didn't do it. Show me in the Bible. How many children of Israel, the sons, were drowned? Give me the number.
You're not supposed to know because Allah works in mysterious ways.
I know you're going to answer that question that way. You always answer me by mysterious way. What mysterious are you talking about? I have no clue, but that's okay. MoveOn.org. Go ahead.
The Quran is not here to answer your questions. The Quran is here to be believed. And I find your lack of faith in the Force disturbing.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. I feel good.
In Ibn Kathir's interpretation, he wrote that Pharaoh abused the children of Israel, causing them to do the worst and lowest type of work in the land. Although he made them work at McDonald's, just so you guys know. Although they were the best of the people in the land, he was killing their sons because the children of Israel was studying the
when
belief.
when
You know,
Allah was when you read the Quran, we found that it's not clear. When you read the interpretation of Ibn Kathir, still not clear. Can you tell me what type of work? You mentioned McDonald's. It could be McDonald's, except I don't think I recall we had McDonald's in Egypt 30 years ago, not 300 years ago or 3,000
sorry,
years
no,
ago.
it's actually Magdallas, like Abdallahs, but Magdallas. So it's very
Okay.
similar.
Now, can you be a little bit specific, Ibn Kathir, and tell me what kind of dirty work or low work they were doing? Can you give me? I mean, anybody can open Genesis account and read, man. They were making bricks. I mean, what is so hard to tell me? They were making bricks out of mud and straw. I mean, Allah does not tell me anything. Ibn Kathir interpret does not tell me anything, and you expect me to believe? Believe in what? In nonsense? What is the lowest work? What is so hard for Ibn Kathir to tell me? What kind of, was he carry poop on pockets from Pharaoh's house, dump it in the field?
I don't know. Maybe they were doing urine experiments. Who knows? It could be. Maybe that guy was trying to tell us something earlier. But yeah. So it was. I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't just give you the facts. It's like, well, you see, actually, they were doing terrible work, and you don't want to upset Allah, then He will make you do the same work He made. That you don't want that, do you? Allah knows best.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it works, as far as I can tell. Because Allah gave the punishment of the clouds to the people that died together. And you don't want that. So therefore, worship Allah. Allah knows best.
Alone. Yeah. I get it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want the punishment of the people that died to fall on you, do you?
No.
What happened to them? No, Allah made them, it was murder by death. And it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is pretty much how the Quran works. I mean, it's just. I don't know. So the children of Israel was studying the belief they inherited from Abraham that from his descendants a young boy would be born and would destroy the king of Egypt. This news was so well known among the children of Israel that some of the Egyptian leaders mentioned the information to Pharaoh, which was why he was killing their male children. In contradiction, Ibn Kathir said,
Stop. If you ask any Jew about that line, 3 line you read, he'll tell you, I have no clue what you're talking about. Abraham never told the children of Israel that one of your descendants later will destroy Egypt or kill the Egyptian pharaoh or something. I mean, where do you come up with that? What? Okay, what verse? What? This is the interpretation of what verse in the Quran?
It's a long story. It starts with this. You see, because the Jews had houses made of clay bricks, but for the Egyptians, they were building houses made out of straw bricks. You see, and then eventually the Egyptians, the straw would collapse, and they would. So it's a really complicated. It's actually got to do with a building dispute.
Me too. Yeah, I agree. Anything else?
That's why there's no more evidence of the pyramids made of straw, because those are the ones that the Jews built for the Egyptians, and then the besides the clay ones. It's a long story. I'll tell you another time. I will. So Ibn Kathir said that the Egyptians complained to Pharaoh that the shrinking number of male Israelites decreased the number of available workers. Therefore,
what chapter? What chapter? What verse? Just show it to me in the Bible. Forget about the Quran because it's an empty book. I understand that. Show me where this information exists in the Bible.
It was in the. It was in the book called the Pharaonic Chronicles that.
Okay, unfortunately, Pharaoh issued or not? Okay.
Pharaoh issued a new command to kill the male children on alternating years. Therefore,
now you make my Pharaoh as dumb as all the Muslims are. So he's trying. Listen, guys, you have to understand the reason Pharaoh kill the boys because he heard the news about one of the children of Israel, one, not two, one of the children of Israel will grow up to be an enemy to him, and he will kill him and take over Egypt. Okay, I got you. So Pharaoh, the smart man, decided to go ahead, kill all the boys. They complain because you don't have enough people to do the dirty work, which we do not know what it is. Okay, so he's gonna keep them alive 1 year and kill the other year. What happened if the year which you, smart Pharaoh, decided to let the Hebrews have their children to grow? What happened in that year where few hundred or maybe a few thousands of the boys will live? One of them will be the man to kill you. What a stupid Pharaoh. He's as stupid as Allah is Muhammad. Am I right?
Give them a year. You had to give them a year to have kids so you could kill those kids the next year.
No. You misunderstand him. He's going to let them live on 1 year and kill the following year. What happened if one of those who live in that year grew up to be the one, which is the reasons why he's killing the boys?
Yeah, but you see, the prophecy was that a boy from an even-numbered year would be the killer, and he was only allowing the odd-numbered years. You know, this is like the old. This is like how work happens in Islamic countries, where they tell you the beatings will continue until morale improves. That's.
I hate to read my book. Listen. I hate to read my own book because it make my blood boil. My pressure normally is around 220, which is very high. After I read the book, it go up to 600 and 700. I mean, way high. If you sit here right now in the outside of my office, it's getting hot. But that's okay. Go ahead.
Right. So Aaron was born in the year when they allowed the Israelites to have sons, while Moses.
Skip the whole paragraph, man. No. In contradiction to this,
I said, therefore, to say that Aaron was born in the year when they allowed Israelites to have sons, while Moses was born in a year in which they killed the male children.
Wow.
So, does this make any sense? If the reason that Pharaoh was killing the Israelite sons was to kill the savior who would grow up to kill the king of Egypt? Of course it makes sense. Like, just because you're using logic. This is because logic, this is the problem I have with these people.
And that is the right thing of a scholar of Islam. I need that scholar to help me to understand Islam. I mean, notice here, this is not in the Quran. This is not in the Hadith. This has nothing to do with Islam. This I call fabrication to help the Muslim to understand something about Moses, when in reality, what you're reading to help you to understand is show you that the scholars, your scholar Ibn Kathir, is one of the dumbers of Islam.
Right, and the leaders from the people of Pharaoh said, will you let Moses and his people to vandalize in the land and desert you and your gods? And he says, we will kill their sons and spare their women, and surely we are dominant over them. Yeah, so when did Pharaoh actually give the order for killing the sons of the Israelites? Was it when Moses was a baby or when Moses was a grown man? Because I'm looking at this and this looks like Moses is a grown-ass man here.
No. You're reading into the text. Actually, Allah knows best.
This is Moses and his homies. This is not Moses was a nobody when he was 2 years old, okay? So
the whole story of Moses in the Quran is a great evidence that Allah is not God, Muhammad is not a prophet, Ibn Kathir is not a scholar, and Muslims are stupid. That's the whole purpose of why we read the story of Moses. And by the way, we're just in the beginning. We're just talking about the birth of Moses. And so far we found enough contradiction, enough nonsense, enough fabrication. I don't understand why Muslims even believe in Islam.
It's got something to do with those ant sisters, I'm telling you now.
Why we don't have enough people like you and I to talk about Moses day and night all over the internet? All over the internet. Why just me and you? Why I'm the only guy who wrote that in a book?
You know, I mean, they so badly misunderstood the biblical stories, they rewrote the parts that made sense to a violent people. Yeah. So, yeah. And so in the Quran, Moses was a breastfeeding baby. Okay. But in Quran 7, Moses is a grown man. That's a real contradiction. And Haman, let's talk about Haman, because none of this makes any sense. We may as well just move on. Because also, for the sake of Usama's blood pressure, I think we need to get past the little hurdle there. Where did Haman come from?
Yeah.
Another error in the preceding passage is in verse 6, where Haman is mentioned in the timeline of the story of Moses. He's one of the contemporaries of Pharaoh, and Haman actually served under King Ahasuerus, or King Xerxes, who ruled Persia. We're in the wrong country now.
I'm sorry.
Like a couple of countries over to the right.
Earlier, I told you wrong. I meant Babel. I meant Persia. I give you the wrong even country myself. God help me, man. Oh man, I'm losing my brain. Go ahead.
So Haman was around from 486 to 465 BC. That would be about 2 or 3 weeks after Moses died, right?
Around it, yeah.
But maybe just a couple of weeks, right? So you missed him by just like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what this little thingy tells us. Richard Strauss, the story of Ahasuerus, or I don't know how you say that, Ahasuerus and Esther.
In Arabic, we call Ahshawirish. I don't know how you say it in English, whatever.
I'm not even going to try. So this is not only the wrong kingdom, but a discrepancy of approximately $1,000. Sorry, 1,000 years. There's no record of the name Haman can be found in Egyptian history during the period of Moses. Why don't scholars ever raise this and go, hey,
that is my question to you, Lloyd. Why not? You have 50 people like you and I all over the internet. Why not every one of us open that and talk it to the Muslims? Help us understand your story. I need to learn about Moses. I mean, help me to become a Muslim. Can you answer a simple question about what your Quran teach about Moses? What your scholars teach about?
Yeah, but that's in the Hadith, so that's in the This or in the Tafsir, and we don't follow that. We follow the Quran. You're like, that's the usual dodge. Like, then why? So you support these scholars, or these scholars were liars? What's the story here? It's like, so show me the detail from the Quran. Why should I believe this? Where's the detail? Where's the history? It's like, oh God, no. I mean,
and we have to understand, we start earlier. Muslims believe in Moses. Muslims believe in the Torah. Muslims believe that the Torah has been corrupted. Have they learned about Moses in the Quran and the interpretation of Moses by their scholars? They will become a Christian. You want to end the war in the Middle East? You want to have peace between the Muslims and the rest of the world?
What you believe, it's just that you believe, you see?
What I'm saying, Brother Lloyd, we got enough bullets in our hands in the Quran to destroy Islam, but nobody's using it. Let's talk about Trinity. Let's talk about the death of Christ. Let's talk about the corruption of the Bible. Let's talk about the Quran. Let's talk about Allah. Let's talk about Muhammad. Let's talk about Moses in the Quran. Let's talk about Noah in the Quran. Let's talk about Abraham in the Quran. And guess what? You destroy Islam. Muslims will leave Islam and they become something else. If they're really religious people, they will become a Christian. If not, they become atheists. Either way, you end the war in the world and you have peace all over the earth.
Right.
For free. It will not cost billions of dollars or trillions of dollars and no shedding of blood. We're not going to kill one Muslim. We're not going to kill one terrorist. Just educate them about Moses.
Yeah, but good grief. Okay, so if anybody knows the God Emperor Trump, if someone can just let him know that we need some funding for this, please, that'll be great. So, and we revealed to Moses' mother, right? This is how Moses survived Pharaoh's death orders. So basically, it works like this. Order 66 was issued, and Order 66 was to kill all the Jedi. Moses was a Jedi. And we revealed to Moses' mother that breastfeeds him. So when you fear for him, so cast him into the river, and do not fear, and do not grieve. Surely we will bring him back to you, and make him of the messengers. So the family of Pharaoh picked him up, so that he may become an enemy to them and a grief. Surely Pharaoh and Haman and their troops were Katain. Okay.
No, sinners. All right. Here's the deal. The Quran is a clear book, easy to understand. If you read these verses without the knowledge from the Bible, What happened when you cast a little boy into the river?
He learns to swim instantly. You know.
Yeah, become a fish.
Yeah, no, it's like genetic or biological. It's like evolution. You throw him in the river, and then they.
Does this make any sense? You read the Quran, brother. You read the verse in front of you. It would take you about a minute to read two verses, 7 and
Yeah, I
8.
think if you throw a
Can
little
you tell
baby
me?
into the river, he'll end up somewhere in the bottom very quickly.
Okay. You see what's happening here? How can you understand the stupidity of Allah in the Quran when you read these verses? Okay, breastfeed him. If you fear for his life, throw him in the river.
Just like
Are you following me? If you fear for his life, drown him.
um,
I'm talking about verses in the Quran. That's how Allah spoke in the Quran. In the pure Arabic, in the pure English, you breastfeed him, and if you fear for him, throw him in the river.
yeah, and there's no mention of a basket. And of course,
No,
Moses'
no,
family home was on the banks of the river.
in these verses we're talking about here, any person with logic or common sense would say, what is wrong with Allah and Muhammad and Jibril? This could not be true.
And of course, Sharh Kitab Al-Albana min Usul Al-Diyana, volume 18, page 18. That is why Ibn Taymiyyah said, he who uses philosophy uses logic, and he who uses logic has become a heretic. That is some scary stuff right there.
No, there's no logic in Islam. If you use logic, you leave Islam. You become an atheist. You become an apostate. Period. That's why Muslims don't even ask. Why you ask? You really want to understand? You want to know? Are you serious?
This is so scary. Right, so let us continue. So his family home was on the riverbank. His mother made a basket, according to the tafsir, and she tied it with a rope with which she could pull him in to breastfeed him. Yeah, that's what you just leave the baby floating out there, pull him in.
Look at the logic. They created the basket. They put a rope in the basket. He's living in the Nile. Once in a while, bring him in, breastfeed him, put him in the basket, push him back to the bank. What a stupid idea. Where do we read that in the Genesis, in the Exodus account? It does not exist. Exodus does not talk about that. The Quran does not talk about that. Logic does not say that. But somehow the scholars of Islam interpret that, cast him into the river, not dump him in the water, put him in a basket with a rope. Can you imagine? What if she put him in a basket and a rope? Because, by the way, her house was by the bank. They know where Moses lived. Imagine that. They don't know jack about Moses, but they know his mama's house.
You see, we solved it.
The river. Ooh, yeah. What happened if you put him in the river, brother? What happened if you put him in the river and he start crying? Shush, baby. Shush, baby. Some Egyptian will see you. Shush.
No, you see, I just figured it out. See, when you said bank, wasn't a river bank. There was a mistake in the translation. It was a bank. So they would put him in the safe in the bank. You see? So therefore, when he was crying, he was just hidden under the money. It was all good. And he was in the bank in the safe. He was safe in the safe. The bank, see, when they said river bank, it was the name of the bank. River Bank.
Yeah.
Right? Naming was very primitive back then. Marketing, it was not a perfect science yet. So people, instead of calling it like the Bank of Egypt or something, just called it the River Bank. Everyone, the bank by the river, the river bank. Yeah, that one. See?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, for instance, there was a big bank in town. It was called the Big Bank. So it's kind of, and you could hide your baby in the bank, in the safe, in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, this is.
I understand. Yeah.
Oh my god, this is funny. It was a safety deposit basket.
Houston. Houston, we have a problem.
Oh my god.
Anyway, keep going.
This is
Read
so
one more
funny.
sentence before we close the show for today, man. One more, please. Give me one. Make sense now. Now, in the next program, if you're not gonna make any sense, quit now. Otherwise, make sense in the next one. Go ahead.
Okay, so the Quran does not mention. Okay, hold on. So the family of Pharaoh picked him up, right? Okay, no, we were here. Sorry.
The whole family
However,
of Pharaoh. Understand that. Listen, every like the cousins and the uncles and the aunt and the nephews, the entire family went to the river and they picked him up. Does this make any sense? Just to say the family of Pharaoh. You know why he said the family of Pharaoh? Because Muhammad did not know. Is
okay,
it his wife
have you ever seen? Have
or
you ever
is it his
seen
daughter?
like in England? You have these things like Smith's family butchers, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So basically, it either means that they butcher families daily, or the whole family is a bunch of butchers. So maybe that's why the whole family went out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, the
it's
family went down to the water. Yeah, I mean, understand what you're saying. Yep, makes sense. Yeah.
so the Bible records in Exodus
One
2.
thing is, you're gonna
Yeah.
find out later, Lord, it is his wife, not his daughter. So he did not say he kept it. What happened is Muhammad did not know who is which one. So he just put the whole family name on it. As if we only have one Pharaoh in Egypt, by the way. Pharaoh. One guy in Egypt, his name is Pharaoh. That's okay. But then later, he said the wife of Pharaoh. He picked up the wrong one of the family of Pharaoh. That makes us the matter twice as bad. God help me. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
You know, guys, for the safety of Usama's health, you know, we gotta probably wrap this up here. Let's finish up here.
Yeah.
Exodus 2:2-4. So the woman conceived and bore a son, and when she saw that he was a beautiful child, she hid him 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, she took an ark of bulrushes for him, daubed it with asphalt and pitch, and put the child in it, and laid it in the reeds by the river's bank. And his
Here's
sisters
the
stood
bank.
afar.
Yeah.
What?
Here's the bank. The river's bank. In the end of verse 3, man. You
Yep,
talk
the
about
river's
bank.
bank. Yeah, exactly. So it was a bank. We know it was a bank for sure, right? And this is where Ibn
Yeah.
Kathir came up with the idea of a basket. But there was no rope attached, and Moses' mother did not pull him back. After placing him in the ark on the river, she let him go. The Quran does not mention Moses' mother's name. Ibn Kathir said that her name was Ayarak or Ayazg. Okay, yeah. According to the Bible, her name was Jochebed. Another conflict appears in Quran 28:9, where it is reported that it was Pharaoh's wife who adopted Moses. Ibn Kathir restated this when he said that Pharaoh answered her by saying, I do not have need for him, but you have need of him. They adopted him because they did not have any sons. On the other hand, the Bible teaches it was really Pharaoh's daughter who discovered baby Moses. And then the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe at the river, and her handmaidens walked along the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the reeds, she sent her maid to get it. And when she opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the baby wept. So she had compassion on him and said, This is one of the Hebrews' children. Guess we can
Amen.
pause here.
Yeah, we can stop here, but you know what? Here's my heart desire, Brother Lloyd. I hope and I pray, and I really mean that deep in my heart. I hope and I pray that some Muslim, men or women, man or woman, have some logic and common sense. Please watch this broadcast. Watch it again. Go back to these verses. Use your logic or common sense. Continue with us in our study to Moses' story in the Quran, the clear word of Allah, as we just found out today. I promise you, before the end, you're going to fall in love with Exodus and you're going to spit on Allah, Muhammad, and Jibreel. Everything about that book is a comedy. I'm talking about the Quran. The Quran is a comedy book. You made it by accident, Lloyd, to say it's a comedy show. It is a comedy show until the end of Moses. Matter of fact, we can start it a long time ago, call it a comedy, because everything about Islam is a comedy. And my heart desire, the second heart desire, is not for the Muslims, for the Christians, those who are working hard to lead Muslims to Christ. Why can't you follow my steps here? We have set for you a blueprint here. You're welcome to use my book. It's available. For heaven's sake, the book is available. The 2 volumes. We're still on volume 1. Here's the art. It is the writing of the scholar Ibn Kathir. It's not my writing. Ibn Kathir. Read these books in your shows. Pick up one of the story. You don't like Moses? Go to
Yeah.
Noah. You don't
You
like
know what?
Noah? Go to.
You
I'm
can do
sorry,
it too.
bro.
It says, look, Ibn Kathir lived in what, the 14th century? How could you be so unlearned about the Bible? And why are we writing this 800 years later to try and explain the Quran?
Because you cannot understand the Quran. See, the problem is we, the Westerners, we don't talk about the Quran. We don't mention the Quran. We're wasting so many hours and hours and golden opportunity to educate the Muslim about the Quran. If you ask all the Muslims who left Islam, why did you leave Islam? Oh, because somebody convinced me of Trinity. No. Oh, because somebody convinced me the death of Christ. No. Oh, because somebody convinced me the resurrection of Jesus. No. Oh, somebody convinced me the Bible is true. No. The reason they left Islam because they learned the truth about the Quran. You will never search for a different route to travel unless you know you're lost. You will never search for a better food to eat unless you know the food you're eating is garbage. You will never search for a better clothes to wear unless you know that you're naked. You will never search for a better drink unless you know you're thirsty. Muslims have to know they're thirsty, they're naked, they're lost, they're hungry for the truth. Nothing they have in their cult makes sense, and that's when they will search for the truth. And you're welcome to share the truth with them about Christianity. But we wasted literally hundreds of millions of dollars with our missionaries all over the Muslim world in the last 200 plus years to reach out to the Muslim with the gospel of Jesus Christ, and we didn't. You know why? Because 99.9% of our missionaries have never read the book, the Quran. You cannot lead a Jew to Christ unless you know the scripture, the Jewish Bible. Why? Because there is the answer and there is the evidence for Christ, the prophecies. You cannot lead a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon to Christ unless you know what Jehovah's Witnesses believe and what Mormons believe and what atheists believe. That's how you lead them out of their lostness to the truth of the gospel. You cannot lead a Muslim to Christ unless you read that book to them, help them to find out they are lost. They think, well, I read the Quran, I couldn't understand it, but I'm not a scholar. Ibn Kathir is a scholar. Al-Tabari is a scholar. And thus, and then I can mention a bunch of other names. So he knows the Quran. Therefore, I just believe it. No! Your scholars are stupid dumbers. I know it's not a word. I made up word, okay? I made up word. Dumbers. So,
Yeah.
why the Muslims are taking over the West? Because they think they're doing God, Allah, a favor by wiping out the Christians from the face of the earth and wipe out the Jews and force Sharia Islamic law, which is built on that book and the teaching of Muhammad in the Hadith. We can stop the Muslim from taking over New York, from taking over America, from taking over Europe, if we can expose them to the facts and the reality that the Quran is a garbage, empty book, no truth in it whatsoever. Muhammad is not a prophet. This is a miracle of Islam. That book fall down, kiss Islam goodbye. No, let's continue to waste our time being insane, doing the same thing we have done the last 100 or 200 years, expecting different result. No, you're crazy. I will not debate a Muslim about any topic in the Bible. I'll debate a Muslim about the Quran, the miracle of Islam. Let's talk about Moses. Let's talk about Abraham. Let's talk about Noah. Let's talk about all these made-up stories of the Quran. And you found that it's an empty book. And your scholars are not scholars, a bunch of dumbers. And then come home to Jesus. Come home to Jesus. I'm done, brother. I'm done.
Yeah, well, okay, so guys, thank you all very much for hanging out with us. This has been fascinating. And now I need to call an ambulance to come check up on Usama, check his blood pressure. Maybe I need to phone his wife. Or just talk him down off the ledge, okay? Just talk him down off the ledge.
Hey, listen, instead of the blood pressure and ambulance and all this, praise that the Lord give me wisdom to be able to change the alternator in my truck for my son to be able to go and work tomorrow using his truck, not my vehicle.
So guys, let's hope Usama gets his truck fixed. Everybody send a couple of prayers his way to get that truck going. All right, very important. And it's very important to have a car. Trust me, I didn't have one in Poland for 7 years. I finally got one this year, just a couple of months ago. So finally, after 7 years, I finally got a car. Finally, that's how things are here. So it's important. So, you know, so yeah.
Love you all. Appreciate you, my dear Muslim
Guys,
friends.
thank you all
We
very
love
much
you.
for this really
We
fun
want the
time.
Muslims. Yeah, we want the Muslims to know that we love them. We care about them. They are victim number one of Islam. Victims number one of Islam. Sadly, the rest of us as victim number two. Let's praise the Lord who sets them free. Amen.
Yeah. Amen. Thanks, guys. Till next time. And hopefully we'll be back on tomorrow. I've got Odon, I've got Mal. Maybe. No, maybe not. I was hoping it'd be free, but it seems not. But JC, myself, and Odon, and maybe Usama, we shall find out tomorrow. Okay, guys? Take care. See you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.